Hey everyone, I'm Justin. I'm really excited about this WalkAway movement. I felt like for so long I've been so alone, and this has just reaffirmed so much of what I'm feeling and how I'm not alone. So, my name's Justin. I'm from Colorado. I live in Denver. You'll have to excuse me, I just woke up, so I'm a little tired still. But I came to my car because I don't even want to. It's hard for me to even say this around people. I get so much backlash about it. But I grew up in Boulder, Colorado. I don't know if you know it, but a lot of people refer to it as the Berkeley of Colorado. After living in the Bay Area for 5 years, I can tell you it's not that extreme, that's for sure. But I grew up in a super liberal city. For a long time, everyone that I knew was a liberal. My dad is one of the only people that I know that, holds a lot of very conservative values. I have a lot of conservative family members, but as far as people that are around me on a day-to-day basis, it's almost all super liberals. Whenever I think about this, I always think back to 4th grade, and we had in school like a mock election, and everyone was able to cast their votes. And I remember the teacher at the time taught us all a little chant, and we were actually swinging on the swings, chanting, "Bob Dole sucks, Bill Clinton rules." And I didn't know why. I just knew that was what I was supposed to think. It didn't even occur to me until many years later that maybe that was wrong. That maybe, I was being fed that information. And when I look back at it now, I think, God, that's so disgusting that, the teacher is promoting children to have these feelings and not think for themselves. Like, this is what you're supposed to think. So I from the first time I voted, I just marked every Democrat on the ballot. And if I didn't know who to vote for, I would, ask a friend. I just wasn't really informed. I remember thinking during the whole Monica Lewinsky and Jennifer Flowers scandals and everything, why is Hillary standing by this guy who's, cheating on her and doing these horrible things to women? And at one point it kind of occurred to me that, if she turned on him, she would lose her power. So it really felt like a power grab. That was kind of my first sign that I just felt really disgusted by some of the Democratic Party, the Clintons specifically. I did vote for Obama the first term. The second term, I was so torn. I felt like all this hope and change that he had promoted was just made up. It was like none of it ever came to fruition. None of it ever happened. And I was really pissed about it. I didn't vote that election at all. Obama's second term, I didn't vote. Then during his second term, I really started feeling a lot of frustration with not just Obama and the promises that he made, but the Democratic Party and the establishment. I always felt that as a gay man, it was obvious, I had to vote a certain way. This is my rights we're talking about. This is the only possible choice for someone like myself. And I guess at some point I just started thinking, I need to look further into these things. People would be making all these outrageous claims. During Obama's second term, I moved from Colorado out to the Bay Area in California. And there, the kind of liberal extremism just became so much more apparent. It wasn't a question. You couldn't have a conversation with another person about what you believed. I remember the people around me telling me, Trump is going to lock up gays. He's going to do all this terrible stuff. He wants to persecute women and, lock up Muslims. And I guess I just couldn't take people's word for it. I just started doing more research. I started looking into it. And what I started to see was none of this stuff was true. When all the Hillary Clinton email scandal stuff happened and the Clinton campaign and the Clintons accepting all this money from, Middle Eastern countries that persecute homosexuals based on their sexual preference, it just blew my mind. How could people not look at this? How could people not understand what's going on? I finally realized when Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump were officially the candidates for the Democrat and Republican parties that I needed to start speaking out. I needed to let people know what I was thinking. I needed to find people who thought like me. And I remember I posted one article. Within about an hour of posting this article, I had lost over 500 friends on Facebook. That just propelled me forward more than ever. I was so heartbroken that people that I'd known my whole life, people that I trusted and cared about, people who loved me, would suddenly completely turn their backs on me just because I refused to think exactly the way that they do. I decided to do a couple of experiments, because people said, the Republican Party will never accept you, as a gay man, they're They're against your lifestyle. They hate you. So I found the largest pro-Trump groups on Facebook. I joined them. And I posted in these groups, intentionally the ones that felt the most extreme right to me, about my sexual preference, about being raised Buddhist, about, my feelings on same-sex marriage, how I felt about, equality, and I wanted to see the reaction of these people. And I said in my post that I had just been trashed by so many people on the left for expressing my opinions. And in one of these groups, I got over 1,000 responses. I read every single one of them. And there was not a single disparaging word. There was not a single insult. Every single comment by all of these Trump supporters and what seemed to me at the time hardcore conservatives was nothing but love and support. I told my mom, the most kind of negative comment out of over 1,000 comments was, I may not agree with your lifestyle, but I support you and you're welcome here. You're welcome in this party. You're welcome in this country. And you have the right to be you, who you want to be. Of course, the whole fiscal, economic side of things, I feel like I've always been more conservative. I've always believed in smaller government. But when I really started looking at all these different lies about, Republicans hating black people, hating gays, hating women, hating Muslims, hating Mexicans, when I really started looking into all of this, I realized it wasn't true. All these people, all these LGBTQ people in my life would go after me so harshly. You are sexist, you're a self-hating gay, you're xenophobic, homophobic, you're a bigot, you're a white supremacist, a neo-Nazi. Every name in the book. I've had some of my closest friends completely abandon me and refuse to speak to me ever again because I support Donald Trump. All these things that they told me, how could you possibly vote for him? Because of this. I would look these things up. I would research, and they weren't true. How could this be possible? How could people be getting so much information wrong? How could people believe something that was so untrue? And I knew at that moment that I absolutely had to walk away. I voted for Donald Trump, and I have never turned back. I still feel every day like I have to hide my thoughts and opinions on this. I am literally fearful that someone might physically hurt me if I expressed how I feel. I would never put a Trump sticker on my car. I know my car would get vandalized in 5 minutes. I had to leave the Bay Area. I move back to Denver, at least here in a purple state, it's not every single person that's against me and the way that I believe. But to imagine that the Democratic Party and liberals, progressives, have gone so far with the way that they feel about things, that they honestly believe you are not allowed to think differently than we are. You are not allowed to have your own point of view. If you do, you don't just have a different point of view, but you are a terrible human being. You're a bad person. I did promise myself I wouldn't cry during this video, so I'm gonna do my best. Oh wow, I've been talking forever. Yeah, it just feels so good to have the support of people who think like me and know that, you know, I'm not alone. And I'm so inspired. I'm so inspired by all of your stories, by all of these people. It's been a long, hard road. And I want to thank all of you. I feel like this campaign has saved me. Wonderful, beautiful people opening their hearts and minds and being honest with one another. It's amazing. I am so proud to be part of this group. I could probably go on for 17 more minutes, so I'll stop. But thank you all. I'm so glad that I walked away, and I hope that my story can help to inspire others to do the same, or to have the bravery to step out and say how they feel and stand in the light. I think that's it. Thanks, everybody.